Durham trial update. I'm going to speak very directly about what's happening, and then we got Brett Tallman to fill us in. John Durham is a special counsel, the investigator. There he is, all right? Doesn't look particularly like a friendly guy, does he? What does Durham really want? From his filings as a prosecutor, this is what he wants. This is what he believes. He believes that the Hillary Clinton campaign in 2020 hired a number of people to gin up a phony controversy involving Donald Trump and Russia. One of those people was a man named Michael Sussman, who's on trial now in Washington, D.C. for lying to the FBI. What did Mr. Sussman allegedly do? He went to the FBI on his own accord, nobody asked him, and gave them phony documents that somehow he got, alleging that Trump was doing something illegal or immoral or unethical with Russia. The timing of it was to drop in October to the media, which would be leaked by the Clinton campaign. The FBI is investigating Donald Trump for activities with Russia. That's what Durham believes is the big picture. You all have that? Now, whether he can ever prove that remains to be seen. And joining us now from Utah, Salt Lake City, former U.S. Attorney Brett Tallman, our go-to guy on the Durham investigation. First of all, did I outline that correctly?
You are 100% accurate on that.
Okay.
You painted the circle of this conspiracy that John Durham is attempting to show.
And very few media people, I have to blow my own horn again, will ever do that. But now everybody watching and listening to the No Spin News knows exactly what Durham believes. But again, he's got to prove it in a court of law. Sussman, he's going to be found guilty. I don't see how he can be acquitted with all of the filings and documentation that Durham's prosecutors are going to bring. Do you see it differently?
The only way he's found not guilty is jury nullification, where the jury, and in this case, a jury out of D.C., where it's 90% Democrat, where they refused to indict Andrew McCabe for lying, the FBI deputy director, that would be the only way. It's a possibility, but not based on the evidence. The evidence is so clear-cut and easy, but you'll notice that John Durham is attempting to do more than just show the text message where he lies about who he represents. He's trying to suggest here is a guy that is a law partner to Mark Elias, who is the Hillary Clinton attorney and the campaign attorney, who hired Fusion GPS to come up with the Steele dossier and opposition research and handed it to Sussman, and Sussman takes it to the FBI, and then Hillary Clinton's campaign is able to leak information about Donald Trump being investigated.
And it's all the dossier was fake, as Robert Mueller and other special counsel found out. Couldn't verify any of it. So that's a fairly clear-cut thing. Now, you said that McCabe didn't get it. That was a grand jury that didn't indict him. It's a difference.
That's correct.
There's a difference.
There's a big difference.
Okay.
Yes.
So now we have a court, jury members, press coverage, evidence presented, cross-examined, a much different scenario. The fix could begin, the O.J. Simpson trial. I covered it. The fix was definitely in. There was no way on earth that those jurors in Los Angeles were going to convict O.J. Simpson no matter what. And once that glove thing came, that gave them the excuse, because everybody knew who was covering the O.J. Simpson trial, and Simpson did it. He did it. And it was clear that he did it. And he was convicted in a civil court when you didn't have the nonsense. So it worries me a little that you say jury nullification in D.C. could happen because of political reasons. And the next question would be, well, wouldn't the Justice Department prosecuting Sussman, Michael Sussman, wouldn't they knock out the crazy left jurors?
Yeah, and Durham has attempted to do that. He's allowed certain challenges, Bill, and these challenges can strike a potential biased juror, but you only get a limited number. And as I understand it, we don't know the specifics on exactly who is on this jury, but we're told that there are a couple of jurors that have indicated they don't like Donald Trump, but that they can be impartial. And in my experience in trials, there are people that politically don't line up with the defendant, but can still be impartial.
I agree with that.
Yeah,
I agree with that. If I'm a prosecutor and somebody doesn't like a political person, I'm not going to disqualify them unless I have 12 others who don't know anything about politics. You know, it's funny, in these kinds of trials, you're almost looking for people who are ignorant, who don't know anything.
I joke often about the fact that sometimes we're looking for the dumbest jury we can put together.
Yeah, because they're not polluted with ideology or with political preferences. Now,
that's right.
In the course, and this investigation with Durham, I think it's going on year 18 or something. I think I was 35 when it started. In the course of the investigation, do you believe, you're an outsider, but you talk to these Justice Department people, that this has been done effectively?
Yeah, I'll tell you, Bill, that one of the attorneys on Durham's team, his name is Michael Kilty, and he is an assistant U.S. attorney from the Eastern District of New York who's been on loan to Durham. And this is a very talented, very good prosecutor. I believe they have the case. They have put together witnesses, unlike any other case, and even O.J. Simpson. Here you have FBI agents that are going to coming to the stand. You have Mark Elias who's taking the stand, and many witnesses who are going to be testifying on behalf of the government. That's a different case, and I'm hopeful that that puts them over the top on the conviction.
Are you surprised that Sussman didn't cut a deal?
I'm very surprised at that. When you go to trial in the federal system, you experience what's called the trial penalty. That means his sentence will actually be longer because he went to trial. And It will be longer if he takes the stand. It'll even be longer still if he takes the stand.
Well, he could have cut a deal with Durham and said, look, I'll tell you, who gave me all this bogus information and all the inside stuff, but, you got to promise not to indict me or I get a lesser sentence, right? That could have easily happened, right?
Easily, and it would have been in his interest, and it would have been, obviously, Durham, I think, was hoping that that would be the case.
Yeah, would flip the guy over for the bigger people.
That's right.
Robbie Mook, head of Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign, up to here in this. Now, who do you think's paying Sussman's bills? He's not paying. That's going to cost him $5 million to defend himself. Who's paying that?
It's a great question, Bill, and my speculation on this is that his old law firm, where he was partners with Mark Elias, where he got the information, where they represented the Hillary Clinton campaign, is going to be footing the bill, assisting in that, which, those proceeds are probably coming from the campaign. But that's all speculation, but it's a plausible one.
Couldn't Durham find out who's paying his defense?
Yes, and in fact, I have reason to think that those 22 emails may make some of the connections before and after, the lies to the FBI. And I think he's going to be allowed to use those through impeachment. The judge said he could have them, said he can't use those emails yet, but I think he's holding those in case that he can use them for impeachment.
And he could always leak them to the Washington Post, who would, of course, set them on fire and not print them, right? Leak them to me. Leak them to me. I'll put them on.
Definitely.
Okay. All right, Brett. Keep an eye on it. Let us know if anything important happens. Brett will be our go-to guy on the Durham trial. Thank you very much. As always, good to see you.